Okay, joining us today is the man who cleaned up all our remodeling mess and made the house look awesome. Tim Lee from The Perfectionist. Tim, welcome to the show today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Tell our viewers a little bit about the project, what you encountered when you first walked in. And when we all know from the pictures that we've all seen, this house was really, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was like minus 100. I mean, it was in really bad shape.
Yeah, it was in bad shape. I did the walkthrough a few days before we did the cleaning, and there was a lot of work, especially the windows, the cabinets. In general, everything was dirty, so everything had to, literally every square inch of that house had to be cleaned.
Right, and we want to let our viewers know this wasn't a lot of remodeling dust and debris. This was a lot of dust and debris from the previous owner who had vacated the home and had just left it in complete disarray. It was pretty ugly.
It was filth on top of filth.
Yeah, it was filth, layers of filth on everything. But from what our investor said that he was most impressed with is what you did to basically resurrect the cabinets.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and that was one of my main concerns when I did the walkthrough was the cabinets themselves were in really rough shape. We had to take a toothbrush to them. We put pure lemon oil on them when we were done. So when they got finished, not only were they clean, but they were actually shiny, like basically brand new cabinets.
Now, Terry knows a lot about furniture restoration. I'm sure you've got a whole bunch of questions for Tim.
Oh, I do. When you were talking about the cabinets, what we usually do is like double-aught steel and like Old English. You can get the different colors, dark wood. So I bet you use some of that too.
That's what we did. Yeah.
Now, I was thinking about it. You could probably use a toothbrush to get in, because the steel is so that it does get into the grain. But you could probably use the toothbrush, and that is, you use that so you could get into that grain.
Yeah, and a lot of the bottom of the cabinets where the dust settled, and it just was ground in there with grease from cooking and things like that. That gets in there, and you have to literally scrub it out of there. The big concern that you have when you're doing cabinets is that if you put too much chemical on it to get it clean, it could literally take the finish off. So it's kind of a touch and go there. So you got to do a fine line and then hit it with the oil, and that shines it up nice.
So you not only do restorations, you also do people's homes?
Oh, yes, yeah. We clean homes on a weekly, bi-weekly basis. We do a lot of move-out cleans.
Oh, fabulous. I'm going to have to put some business cards in the store, because we just get people all the time that have just moved here. We got a lot of Canadians moving in, and people are always asking for services.
Yeah, that's
so that's
true.
good to hear. My question would be, I have white tiles in our bathrooms at the stores. That is so hard to get white tile clean. Yeah. It's like you go over it with a mop, you have to do it 4 times. What's the secret?
Yeah, well, the secret is before you clean the tile, you need to either sweep it or vacuum it. We use high pressure vacuums, so we get into the grout and stuff. The grout lines themselves are really what makes it difficult, depending on the color of grout you have. If you have white grout, you want to use as very little water as possible, because they serve as drains for the tile. So that's why your grout is getting dirty. So.
All right. Get those rooms cleaned.
Dan, you see many homes that look like should be thrown away.
In other words, they just scrape the slab and burn.
If you had to rate this house at the beginning, what number would you give it?
I would give it a minus 200, because it should have been knocked down and
should have been bulldozed,
slab,
right?
And just start over with the whole lot.
But you got to remember, though,
it was that bad. It was that. It just gave you the feeling of, I don't want to be in here.
But one of the gratifications to be able to do is to go back and restore something that looked like it could have been thrown away. Yeah, absolutely. But to restore it back to a point where it is sellable again, and people can walk in and be proud of their home, that's what it's all about. We restored it. We made it usable. We didn't have a lot of land debris. We didn't fill up the landfill with tons of slump block and roofing material. We actually restored it, now made it a home for somebody to live in a great neighborhood.
And got the garage back.
And they got the garage back.
Now, I noticed you also say moving, and that's interesting. You put those two together. I think actually one of your trucks brought some furniture to our stores.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
All right. See, so he does a little bit of moving on the side, and then my mom was my inspiration for my business. How about, I heard your dad was an inspiration from you, from our producer.
Yeah, my dad was in the Air Force back in the late 50s, and so when my dad was the cleaner in our house. So I guess I get that from him.
I like
when I left my bedroom, it had to be spotless. My beds had to be, the crease had to be made on them perfectly, just the way he was.
Things had
Military.
to be perfectly.
Oh, you bet. That's just
yeah.
the way he was.
Tim, how can our viewers contact you?
They can go to our website at theperfectionist.net, or they can reach us by phone, 602-493-1233.
Okay, great. You could find out more about our restoration home and all the great work that Tim and all our other contractors did at imagehomeimprovementshow.com.
That was great information. Now stay tuned. We'll be right back.